Ostankino Tower is a television and radio tower in Moscow, Russia, owned by the Moscow branch of Unitary Enterprise Russian TV and Radio Broadcasting Network. Standing 540.1 meters, 1,772 feet, it was designed by Nikolai Nikitin. As of 2022, it is the tallest freestanding structure in Europe and 12th tallest in the world. Between 1967 and 1974, it was the tallest in the world. The tower was the first freestanding structure to exceed 500 meters 1,600 feet in height. Ostankino was built to mark the 50th anniversary of the October Revolution. It is named after the surrounding Ostankino district of Moscow. Upon the completion of construction, approximately 10 million individuals resided within the transmitter coverage area, which expanded to over 15 million people by 2014. This area encompasses Moscow and the Moscow region, as well as certain portions of the Vladimir and Kalyuga regions. The ownership of the TV tower lies with the Moscow Regional Center, a division of the Russian Television and Radio Broadcasting Network, RTRN. Under favorable weather conditions, the Ostankino TV tower can be observed by residents of certain cities in the Moscow region, including Balashikha, Voskresensky, Zelenograd, Korolev, Krasnogorsk, Lyubertsy, Medici, Odintsovo, Podolsk, Khimki, and Shyokovo. The primary function of the Ostankino TV tower is to transmit TV signals. Prior to its establishment, this task was fulfilled by a structure devised by Vladimir Shukhov in 1922. During that era, the wicker tower located on Chabalovka Street was widely regarded as an extraordinary feat of engineering ingenuity. However, it became apparent in the 1950s that the tower had reached the end of its lifespan. Originally designed primarily for radio signal transmission, the tower found itself adapting to the emergence of television broadcasting in the late 1930s. The project was initially assigned to the Kiev Design Institute specializing in steel structures, which won the all-union competition for the best TV tower design. Their proposal was an open-work metal tower similar to the Eiffel Tower in Paris or the renowned Shukhov Tower in Moscow. However, the architects tasked with realizing the project were not very enthusiastic about it. Numerous engineers, including Nikolai Nikitin, a member of the competition committee and an expert in reinforced concrete and metal structures, came up with an alternative idea. Nikitin expressed a strong dislike towards his colleague's project, deeming the design unappealing. He suggested building the tower out of reinforced concrete, citing a successful similar project in Stuttgart that had been completed 2 years prior, in 1956. He firmly believed that such a type of structure would be much more aesthetically pleasing. Nikitin's proposal was taken seriously, and he was given the opportunity to prepare his own application. To ensure the strength and stability of the concrete frame, Nikitin incorporated 149 taut steel ropes. Nikitin later asserted that he had conceived the project overnight, and the prototype for the cone-shaped foundation of the tower was inspired by the upside-down lilium flower, known for its robust petals and sturdy stem, which the engineer had envisioned in his dream just days before the deadline for submitting sketches. However, it is possible that the reality was different. His design was inspired by the work of scientist Yuri Kondratyev in the 1930s, who had envisioned a thin and hollow concrete structure for a wind farm on Mount Aipetri in the Crimea. Kondratyev successfully designed a 165-meter structure and took precautions by reinforcing it with steel cables to ensure its stability against strong winds. The project was left incomplete due to several factors, but the concept remained in Nikitin's mind. In 1932, architect Pierluigi Nervi presented a project called the Monument of the Banner in Rome for a competition. It is uncertain whether Nikolai Nikitin was acquainted with these sketches, but the base of the structure bears a striking resemblance to the Ostankino TV tower. Nikolai Nikitin suggested constructing a 540-meter rocket, but the proposed tower had minimal foundation, with only a 4.6-meter base underground. Many of Nikitin's colleagues expressed concerns about the stability of the structure and recommended reinforcing it with 40-meter piles. They even wrote collective letters to halt construction. However, despite their efforts, the project was ultimately completed and the tower remained stable. This was primarily due to the shifted center of gravity. The center of gravity can be compared to the Soviet toy called Navalishka, which means that the structure can sway in strong winds. The maximum deflection of the spire throughout the construction process was approximately 12 meters. Certainly, in addition to the shifted center of gravity, there was a need for further structural reinforcement. As a result, a total of 150 steel cables were carefully installed inside. In order to safeguard against any potential corrosion of the iron over time, the cables were coated with a substance known as gun oil. This particular type of petroleum oil is made thicker by combining it with petrolatum and sarin. The construction work commenced in 1959, leading to the establishment of an entire town dedicated to the project. This town included essential facilities such as a boiler house, a concrete plant, and a mechanical workshop. The tower trunk was successfully erected using a self-lifting crane, while alternative methods, specifically the utilization of helicopters, were employed to install the antenna atop the TV tower. Of course, the engineering features of the tower hold great significance. However, it was the architects who skillfully enhanced the tower's appearance. Leonid Batalov and Dmitry Burdin were responsible for shaping the structure's appearance. They incorporated elegant arches between the supports, constructed a sleek glazed cylinder beneath the tower trunk to accommodate technical services and live broadcasting studios, and artistically integrated illuminator windows in the upper section of the cone, giving the tower a striking similarity to a rocket. Furthermore, at the height of 325 to 360 meters, the tower was extended with a structure resembling a 10-story house, featuring essential equipment, a magnificent revolving restaurant spanning 3 floors, and an observation deck inspired by the design of the TV tower in Stuttgart. Moreover, the balconies and trunk of the tower efficiently housed equipment for radio relay lines, mobile television stations, radio telephone communications, special services facilities, and a meteorological complex. The grand opening of the Ostankino TV tower occurred in 1967, coinciding with the 50th anniversary of the October Revolution. However, initially only a portion of the structure was operational. The remaining works were successfully completed by 1969, allowing for the opening of observation platforms and a restaurant for visitors. Speaking of the observation decks, the tower boasts 2 of them. One is a glazed deck situated at a height of 337 meters, while the second is an open deck positioned approximately 3 meters closer to the top of the tower. Although it is referred to as open, there are bars in place for safety reasons. Additionally, it is only open on rare occasions, specifically during favorable weather conditions without wind. Prior to 1976, the Ostankino TV tower held the prestigious title of being the tallest structure in the entire world, standing impressively at a height of 540 meters. Extensive use of pressed rest concrete resulted in a simple and sturdy structure. It surpassed the Empire State Building to become the tallest freestanding structure in the world. However, this remarkable achievement was subsequently overshadowed by the construction of the CN Tower, situated in the city of Toronto, Canada. Towering above the ground at an astonishing height of 553 meters, the CN Tower effortlessly claimed the new record. Over the course of 30 years leading up to the fire, the Vantage Point and the Seventh Heaven restaurant welcomed over 10 million guests. Following the fire, both the platform and the restaurant underwent reconstruction, with the observation deck being fully renovated by January 2008. Although the observation deck resumed operations with pilot tours on March 27, 2008, the restaurant remained closed as it continued its reconstruction efforts. One of the key guidelines for visiting entails implementing heightened security measures, which require the presence of an adult accompanied by a valid passport and a child accompanied by a birth certificate. It would be appreciated if you could kindly keep in mind that the ticket remains valid for a duration of 2.5 hours, and it is necessary to vacate the tower within that allocated time. Additionally, we kindly request that you refrain from taking photographs of the staff as it is against our policy. On July 21, 2018, there was a race up the tower, featuring athletes from 12 countries. They ran up the narrow, spiral staircase and reached the location at an altitude of 337.0 meters. The fastest of the 28 athletes was German, Christian Riedel, who made it to the top in 9 minutes and 51 seconds. The women's winner was Cynthia Harris, US, who reached the top in 12 minutes and 15 seconds. On August 27, 2000, a devastating blaze not only engulfed the renowned restaurant Seventh Sky, but also caused extensive damage to the entire structure. Out of the 150 steel cables that once held the building together, only 19 remained intact after the fire had subsided. The fire initially broke out at a height of 460 meters, or approximately 98 meters, 322 feet, above the observation platform and the Seventh Heaven restaurant, around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Within moments, the flames rapidly spread, engulfing nearby structures and leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. It took the efforts of firefighters and emergency personnel until the following evening to finally extinguish the flames. The aftermath of the fire had far-reaching consequences, as the entire city of Moscow was left without television reception, with additional disruption to radio signals. While some channels were able to quickly restore their services, it took several months to completely repair and reinstate the signal citywide. There were 3 fatalities as a result of the fire. A firefighter and lift operator died when their elevator cabin crashed to the ground level due to the fire. The fire necessitated the evacuation of all visitors and staff from those locations. As reported by Russian news agencies, the evacuation was successfully carried out within 90 minutes from the onset of the fire. The substantial loss incurred was primarily attributed to the outdated and inadequately maintained electronic equipment, a significant portion of which had been installed during the 1960s. Furthermore, the tower had become increasingly crowded with equipment. The failure of the fire suppression systems resulted in significant damage to the interior of the tower. Despite the efforts of over 300 firefighters and emergency workers, they had to manually bring heavy equipment, including chemical fire extinguishers, up the tower to stop the fire. Temporary firewalls made of asbestos were installed at a height of 70 meters, 230 feet, to prevent further spreading. As a result of the fire, television broadcasts in Moscow and the surrounding areas were mostly disrupted, except for the privately owned NTV station. However, the government prioritized state channels and therefore the RT-RTV channel began transmitting to several districts in Moscow. The fire caused the upper spire of the tower to tilt slightly, which caused concerns that the tower might collapse. However, upon further inspection, it was determined that although the structure suffered significant damage, there was no immediate risk of collapse. Immediate efforts were initiated to rebuild the tower, which turned out to be a lengthy and costly endeavor. The fire was the 3rd disaster in Russia in a month, following an explosion in Moscow's Pushkinskaya metro station, which killed 12 people and injured 150, and the sinking of the submarine Kursk in the Barents Sea, in which 118 died. Russian President Vladimir Putin stated that this latest accident shows the shape of our vital installations and the overall state of our country. We should not fail to see major problems in the country behind this accident, and we should not forget the economy. Whether or not such accidents happen again in the future will depend on how we work in this vital direction. On March 25, 2005, the first new elevators since the August 2000 fire, made by the German company ThyssenKrupp, were tested and put into service. The new elevators travel at a speed of 6 meters per second, 20 feet/s. The tower remained inaccessible to visitors until its reconstruction was fully completed in 2008, marking the reopening of the structure. During this time, individuals had the opportunity to access the observation decks, providing them with extensive views. However, the restoration efforts did not extend to the tower's restaurant, which remained closed for an additional 8 years. The current restaurant within the tower's premises bears little resemblance to its Soviet-era counterpart or the establishment that existed prior to the devastating fire. This transformation is evident not only in the culinary offerings but also in the interior decor, showcasing a complete overhaul of the dining experience. And the Seventh Heaven restaurant reopened in November 2016. On July 1, 2004, Austrian base jumper Christina Grubelnik collided with the tower, resulting in a concussion and causing her to lose consciousness. Her parachute became caught on a service platform located at a lower level. Russian emergency services responded quickly. In 2006, representatives of the Ministry of Emergency Situations assured that a significant fire incident at the Ostankino Tower would no longer occur as there were no combustible materials remaining within the structure. Following the necessary repairs, the tower has been compartmentalized into multiple sections. In case of a fire in any of these sections, access will be promptly restricted from both sides. Moreover, special installations have been installed to introduce nitrogen into the rooms of the tower during a fire, effectively preventing the development of combustion. However, in May 2007, smoke was noticed at a height of 342 meters. As a result of the emergency situation, the elevators were temporarily out of service. Consequently, firefighters had to reach the location of the smoke on foot. The fire in the Ostankino TV tower was classified as a second, heightened, level of complexity. As per the statement from the Emergencies Ministry, the cause of the fire at the tower was attributed to a breach of fire safety regulations during welding operations. All people inside the tower were evacuated and the fire was successfully extinguished, with no casualties. Originally, German elevators by R. Stahl were installed in the Ostankino TV tower. During the fire in 2000, the high temperatures resulted in the severe damage of almost all elevator cables, leading to their collapse. There were 3 individuals present in one of the cabins during the incident, and none of them survived. ThyssenKrupp manufactured 4 new elevators in 2003, but their installation was not completed until November 21, 2005. Additionally, a service elevator from the Shcherbinsky plant was also installed in the building. One of the elevators in the antenna section of the TV tower was also designed by ThyssenKrupp. Currently, elevators number 6 and number 7, which are located above the observation deck and go up to approximately 450 meters, are not functioning. It is unlikely that they will be restored due to the elevator shafts being blocked with cables and feeders. As of September 2017, 5 elevators are in operation, consisting of 4 high-speed elevators from the ThyssenKrupp and 1 service elevator from Shcherbinsky elevator plant. The machine units of the high-speed elevators are installed at distances of 360 and 364 meters. These elevators have a feature where their speed can be automatically reduced when signals from sensors detect any tower sway. Additionally, the elevators are equipped with a unique system that enables contactless transmission of electricity to the cabin. This is achieved through inductive energy transfer using a transformer principle. To make this possible, inductive energy transfer elements are positioned in the shaft and current collectors are attached to the car. The CPS inductive power transmission system was provided by the reputable German company Paulval GmbH & Co. KG. High-speed elevator number 4 was put into operation in December 2006. Within the tower, there is a restaurant called Seventh Sky that offers a unique dining experience. The restaurant was visited by the USSR leaders Nikita Podgorny, Alexei Kosygin, and Leonid Brezhnev on November 7, 1967. The restaurant was made up of 3 halls named Bronze, Silver, and Golden. These halls were located on separate floors at heights ranging from 328 to 334 meters above the ground. Each hall had 24 four-seat tables arranged in a circle near the panoramic windows, with a radius of 9.2 meters. The total area of the halls was 600 square meters, and each hall was 2.5 meters wide. Due to limited capacity, reservations were necessary in advance, with each level accommodating a maximum of 80 people. Since its opening in 1967, it has been considered the highest establishment for dining in the Soviet Union and was also one of the most expensive. In 1987, the cheapest hall, bronze, charged 7 rubles for a day visit, and there was no choice of dishes. The restaurant was a popular tourist attraction in Moscow because its circular rooms rotated once every 40 minutes. Throughout its operation, approximately 10 million people visited the restaurant. The restaurant had the honor of operating without interruption for a remarkable span of 33 years, until a devastating fire occurred on August 27, 2000. This tragic incident resulted in the complete destruction of all 3 floors, thus necessitating a lengthy period of 16 years for the reconstruction process to be completed. The fire of 2000 caused extensive damage to the interiors of 7th Sky, and its reconstruction was significantly delayed for a period of 16 years. Initially, the project faced challenges in securing an investor, and subsequently, the implementation of safety regulations by the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations posed an obstacle, as it limited the number of visitors to a maximum of 50 in the tower at any given time. During the time frame of August 28, 2000 to April 2012, various measures were taken to enhance fire safety in the restaurant halls. These included the installation of new water fire extinguishing systems, treatment of all metal structures with fireproofing compounds, replacement of exterior cladding and old double-glazed windows with newer ones. Additionally, significant renovations were done on the ventilation system, air conditioning, water supply, and other related aspects in the restaurant. The 7th Sky restaurant complex is currently operational. In 2016, the coffee shop and cafe levels of the complex reopened. The restaurant hall was also launched in 2017, and had to be temporarily closed in 2020 due to the ongoing coronavirus restrictions. The 7th Heaven restaurant complex comprises 3 levels, namely the coffee shop, at the 334-meter mark, the cafe, at the 331-meter mark, and the restaurant, at the 328-meter mark. The Ostankino Tower held the title of the tallest flagpole in the world for a long time. On April 27, 1967, the flag of the USSR was placed on top of the tower and was regularly replaced twice a year, for May Day and November 7. Originally, the flag was intended to be 50 by 20 meters, but it was reduced to 5 by 2 meters due to concerns about wind load. In 1991, the flag was taken down and the tower remained without it for over 17 years. On June 12, 2009, which is the Day of Russia, the flag of Russia was respectfully hoisted on the tower. The flag specifically made for the tower was carefully sewn in Vladimir using a reinforced fabric. The previous flag of the USSR, which was lowered in December 1991, is currently preserved in the Tower Museum. Thank you for watching this video.